everyone, it's Froggy and I'm back again with some more Will a Wonderful World. So let's start. There we go. Okay, so almost halfway through the street I found myself behind a huge crowd of people. Thick smoke was coming out of the building nearby. People were shoving and running out of it. More and more people started to gather on the street. Many of them were even taking pictures with their phones. One of his feet was already on the ledge. He was holding a knife against the frightened wife's neck. Fire truck finally arrived. My cell phone suddenly rang. My cell phone fell to the ground. Okay, well, we don't want your cell phone to fall to the ground. We'll do that. Let's try that. If your cell phone rings, then you'll stop. Okay. It was total chaos in front of the burning building. I put my cell phone back into my pocket and left the crowd. I walked to the next street, asking the pedestrians about Alicia. Rank D, but this one was bad. So, retry. We don't want you walking over there. Let's try that. What happens if you walk over there? The phone kept ringing. Who the hell would be calling me at this godforsaken moment? I was about to bend over and pick it up. The man suddenly got riled up. He waved the knife at me wildly. Don't move! Don't answer the phone! His wife saw a chance as the knife had left her neck, so she bit his left wrist as hard as she could. He dropped the knife out of pain. Then she ran over and hid behind me before he could pick it up. The man suddenly began wailing like a child. Sit! Even you are abandoning me? Fine, I'll just go by myself. He raised his knife and cut his own throat open. I didn't even have enough time to react. I was suspended due to the serious consequences caused by my reckless, unauthorized actions. It was total chaos in front of the burning building. Fire trucks, firemen, fire hoses. The fire department had taken charge of the situation. I walked up to a fireman nearby and asked if there was anything I could do to help. A foreigner, he asked as he looked at me. You really shouldn't stay here. If we don't put out this fire today, we will be dying 1,000 deaths. He saw my confused look and added, You are new here. This is the headquarters of the Black Dragon Gang, the most powerful gang in this area. Yes, gang, bad people. There are gangs in your country, right? So, stay away from here. Leave. Just go get some soda or something. Alright, I have an idea. No fire truck. We want them to die. Yes, die. The fire trucks hadn't arrived yet. It was total chaos in front of the burning building. More and more injured people were being carried out of the building. A man in a black trench coat seemed to have summoned a lot of people to help put out the fire. I wasn't injured and I had all my limbs. I thought I should go and help too. I walked toward the man. Excuse me, I would like to... A huge man in a black suit appeared in front of me and blocked my sight. The suit guy seemed to be twice my size. He looked down upon me and I could see a deep scar on his face. Help. I swallowed anxiously and had no idea what to say next. The suit guy held up his hand and pointed to somewhere behind me. A truck full of fire extinguishers had just arrived. The fire was finally put out by sunset. I sat on the stairs at the bottom of the building, exhausted. I was covered with dust and ash from head to toe. All of the injured people had been sent to the hospital. The man leading the team had already left. My stomach began rumbling. Man, if I could get a free meal for helping to put out a fire. B and bad. Okay, so let's... We don't want your... Okay. What if nothing happens? Stop! I'm telling you to stop! He got riled up, and his right foot missed the ledge. He fell over the ledge, dragging his wife with him. Wait, no! Before I even had a chance to talk him down, both of them disappeared out of my sight. Fortunately, the fire department had set up a cushion below. You moron! Do you know how big of a mess you've made? That case was not even under our jurisdiction. Back at the station, Lieutenant King was outraged. He was yelling at me so loudly that the entire building could hear him. The hospital later called and informed us that the couple was okay. However, the wife had been 4 months pregnant. They couldn't save the baby. I was suspended due to serious consequences caused by my reckless, unauthorized actions. Alright, so they got saved, which was good. How about you don't walk over there? How about everything but walking over there? No, because then you're going to walk over there. How about you just answer this? Okay, let's try that. I tried to talk some sense into him. I told him that one could always earn back the money. I said he still had his wife's full support, so he shouldn't give up just yet. I even tried asking him if he would like some dulcet bibimbap for dinner. But none of the techniques I had learned from the academy worked. The standoff kept going. The wife was clearly physically exhausted, and she looked like she was mentally drained, too. Honey, if you really want to die so much, let me go with you then. I hope we can both be happy in our next lives. She grabbed the knife on her neck and cut her own throat open. Blood was gushing out. She collapsed onto the ground that had been colored red by her own blood. The man's face was covered with blood. He seemed to have lost the ability to talk. He slowly knelt down and took the knife out of the woman's hands. It looked like he had completely lost his mind. I couldn't let it happen a second time. I sprinted ahead a few steps and kicked the knife out of his hand. I pinned the man down on the ground. He looked at his wife's body, which was only half a meter away and slowly losing its warmth. Then he wept. Neither of us had expected the situation to turn out like that. I was suspended due to the serious consequences caused by my reckless, unauthorized actions. It was total chaos in front of the burning building. Fire trucks, firemen, fire hoses, the fire department had taken charge of the situation. I walked up to the fireman nearby and I was about to ask if there was anything I could do to help, but before I opened my mouth, another fireman quickly ran past me and knocked the phone out of my hand. And another one behind him immediately stepped on the phone. The screen cracked into pieces. No! The fireman next to me picked up the phone for me. A foreigner? You really shouldn't stay here. If we don't put out this fire today, we will be dying 1,000 deaths. Take your phone and get out of here. Rank E. Oh my god. Okay, that is just not good. Let's try that. Who the hell would be calling me at this godforsaken moment? I turned around and answered the phone quietly. It was from the station. They told me something important had happened to the unit and I must go back as soon as possible and await further instructions. I hung up the phone and turned around only to realize that the couple had disappeared from the ledge. Fortunately, the fire department had set up a cushion below. You moron, do you know how big of a mess you've made? That case wasn't even under our jurisdiction. Back at the station, Lieutenant King was outraged. He was yelling at me so loudly the entire building could hear him. The hospital later called and informed us that the couple was okay. However, the wife had been 4 months pregnant and they couldn't save the baby. I was suspended due to the serious consequences caused by my reckless, unauthorized actions. Someone quickly ran past me and bumped into my arm. My phone was knocked out of my hand. It stopped at another man's feet. The fire truck hadn't arrived yet. However, this man in a black trench coat seemed to have summoned a lot of people here to help put out the fire. He picked up my phone with his left hand and saw my sister's picture. Then he asked me in English what my relationship was with her. There was no expression on his face the entire time. After hearing my explanation, he tossed the phone back to me. Then he said, "Come back here tomorrow." "You know my sister?" I walked up to him in excitement, but a huge man in a black suit stopped me. The man in the trench coat looked like he wasn't going to answer any of my questions and turned his attention back to his men and the fire. The suit guy seemed like he was twice my size. He looked down upon me and I could see a deep scar on his face. Fine. I would come back tomorrow. Still, I never thought that I would find a clue about Alicia just like this. The Lord must be blessing us. Sister, we would soon meet again. I just knew it. I can't seem to get it to work no matter how hard I try. Am I too stupid?
It's not your fault. Something seems to be tied up over there with Chang Bakya. Once you solve the problem over there, it might impact this one too.
Huh? Is that a thing too?
Occasionally, we might not be able to solve the current case because of something that's happened somewhere else. Whenever this occurs, you will see orange text in the letters. The appearance of orange text typically means that you will need to consult another letter to handle the current one.
So basically, if I see orange text in a letter, I should go and check on some other letters first, right?
Correct. Sometimes you might need to handle the other letters first. Other times, it might just mean that you need to look for clues in the other letters. In either case, it really depends on the letters, and you'll have to use your own judgment. This doesn't happen too often, but if you do encounter them, make sure you take advantage of the hints in the letters to help you.
Got it. I'll go and read the letter from Chang Bakya first. They told me something important had happened to the unit and I must get back as soon as possible and await further instructions. Okay. So we'll leave that for now.
You might have already noticed that every time you open a letter, you can see a number of small colored squares here.
Oh yes, what are those?
The small squares can be one of 3 colors: yellow, pink, and gray. Some of them are solid, while some of them are empty. These squares represent all of the possible endings for the events described in a specific letter. The solid ones stand for the ending that you have discovered, while the empty ones are the endings that you have yet to reach. Of the solid squares, the yellow one marks the selected ending that you have chosen at the moment, which means the yellow square could only be solid and never empty. The solid pink squares, on the other hand, represent the endings that you have discovered but are not selected at the moment. The pink empty squares are the endings that you have not yet discovered. All of these squares are strictly arranged in order S, A, B, C, D, E, F, X, which could be a helpful reference when you are making your decision.
What about these gray squares?
Gray squares may be either solid or empty, but they are less common. Sometimes the development of certain events may be impacted by other people and things. For instance, this incident with Chang Jiangmin was affected by the incident on Chang Bakya's side. That's why there's a gray square here. A gray square means that under current conditions, the probability of this potential ending happening is 0, or in layman's terms, it cannot happen. Once we solve the related pending problem, the square will no longer be gray. Oh my god, I'm so yawning. Sorry. meaning that it is now possible for us to reach this ending. Meanwhile, a previous ending that we have reached will now turn gray instead.
Confused.
I understand it is very confusing when I explain it to you like this. However, I believe once you are done with Chang Jung-min's story, you will figure out how it works.
Got it. I'll give it a shot.
Dios, ¿qué hice mal?
Heavenly Father's guidance and...
하느님, 저를 용서해 주소서.
I think this is the Kang guy, so we'll try that. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.